Hi, I'm Pratim Ranjan Bose, and you are watching Podcast with Pratim, presented by Iravathi Research and Communication Center, or IRCC. In this episode, we will discuss the impact of global affairs on markets and investors' returns. I have with me Mr. Subhendu Moitra, Director of Coeus Advisors. You have seen Subhendu a number of times on this platform. Subhendu, BSE Sensex is down by 5% in 6 months and 1.6% in last 1 month. If we look at it in a 1 year or 5 year scale, the markets are distinctly up. But in investors' return, the volatility has increased in the recent weeks. There is little doubt about it, and this is due to FII selling. The Indian investors who have seen only growth over the last decade are naturally unnerved. The general expectation is the volatility will continue for next 2 quarters. Do you agree? And why do you think that the FIIs are selling? Over to you.
Actually, see the way I look at it, everybody thought that after Mr. Donald Trump comes to US, there will be a lot of stabilities coming to the all markets, not only US and other markets also. But however, I think the stability is yet to come because Mr. Trump is not yet settled. We have to give him time to settle, and whatever we see, various actions or whatever he's saying, that's also affecting in a not always in a very rational way. So there is a kind of uncertainty in the market, which we thought things will improve. I mean, things are going to improve. I mean, there is going to be some actions on settlement of Israel and Gaza issue, the settlement of Ukraine Russia issue. Those things are happening, but yet to happen. But at the same time, discussion about the tariffs on various countries and others, that's disturbing the market as such. And so the FIIs who wants kind of assurance or confidence, they are going out of the market. But then as we see that our internal investments are quite strong even now, even the SIPs have not also reduced to that extent. So considering that, I don't think there'll be too much. Downward further. More or less, we are range bound situation at this moment. Whatever level we are there, 75,000 to 76,000, and here it will go up. Maybe it will continue for some more time at this level, and then it will go up once the things become clearer. And see, FIs, people go out and come in, so that keeps on happening. They are not like a very long-term investors. They are very value investor. They come whenever they believe there will be some returns on that. So whenever they also understand that again now it makes sense to invest in Indian market, so they will come. They will realize that Indian valuations maybe have more reasonable. In between, people thought that valuations were very high. In fact, US valuations they thought low. Now again, US market is going up. So there's certain thoughts that US valuation has become very high. So again, this keeps on. The money keeps on shifting in this globalized investors market. So that we have to accept. So whether this is 2 quarters or 3 quarters, stability is very difficult to tell at this moment. But this until this tariff thing settles down, because I mean, we can discuss that in a later part of our discussion, that the tariff, how and what actually will happen is very important. Whatever is said is one part of it, because he's also playing to the gallery, and US populace are actually liking whatever at least he's saying. That's for sure, because they have given him vote for that. So he's trying to play with the gallery. It happens in our country also. In all democratic places, it happens. So I think we are seeing that. So we have to allow things to settle down in a couple of months and see exactly what actions have taken or not taken, and what action is going to be taken. That'll be much more clearer. So I think this stability may take another month or so, and then we will be able to tell whether the market will go up or down or settle for 2 quarters or 3 quarters or something. That's what is my view.
Right. In a way, you're very right. I mean, the way things are happening, unfolding, we are seeing the complete demolition of the WTO framework, the UN framework. It is the US has gone out of as major bodies like WTO, UNHRC, World Health Organization, so which
Yes.
literally means the death of these bodies practically.
Yes.
And then there is so much of US aid is on pause. So definitely DFID spending, which is from UK, will be uh, they also will go down, or there will be some scrutiny reviews on that. So a lot of things are happening. On tariffs, we have just seen the Indo-US bilateral, or rather put Trump-Modi meeting in USA. And there is a 6-month timeline for entering the bilateral trade agreement.
Yes.
So, what is your expectation from the bilateral trade agreement? We have to, as such, this is in line with the overall move of the of India and other nations towards FTA, and we have FTAs with major trade partners like UAE, ASEAN, etc. So there is nothing wrong in having a FTA with US. The only difference this time is that so far the WTO dictated the minimum, the common tariff, the global tariff, that is MFN tariff. So that has become redundant. Now US can impose higher tariff than that. Also, there were certain provisions in GATT for not imposing taxes in your country on services you import. But now US can put slap some tax on the services they import from US, whatever. Not only US, from many countries. So that is the only thing that has happened. So how do you look at it?
See, the starting from where you what you initiated this particular point. You see, the WTO was actually promoted by all developed countries only. They thought those that is going to help them, but unfortunately, that's not helped them. It's the other countries like China who has got a benefit out of it. Now they have realized, so they want to come out of it. They want to go for a different thing. But having said that, I think India also for last couple of years the indication was clear. So they were going various bilateral treaties with various countries or the groups or whatever. So this is was expected, and this will happen. But I want to tell you something that again, this is what I'm saying that we should always not go by the rhetorics or what has been spoken. See, 2018 also, Mr. Trump put tariff on Indian steel, I mean, aluminium and other things. So what happened after that? They realized that ultimately the number of employment generation in their steel industry was only very few, or rather they lost a huge amount of employment in other industries like say washing machines and other places and all. So it's not going to help, and they all know that ultimately those kind of tariffs don't help in current scenario when you are dependent on each other, whether we like or don't like. It's a globalized economy. Ultimately your own industry, this is a free country at the end of the day in US, like India. So your own industry will not take that. They will like to find a way out to import without tariff. And there has been like 2018 also such kind of things was there. You can such cases you can actually apply to your government and import at a lower tariff because you need that for a further use
And
it in
and,
your
and
value-added product.
American investors are very notorious in that.
Very notorious for that. So basically, you should not much bother about it. It doesn't help. Whether I think all of them know it doesn't help. Certain things like if you ask me, reducing tariff on Harley Davidson or some single malt and all, it has a very minuscule effect. And I think in our current international or current social thing, I mean, those things are absolutely irrelevant. Do you believe that Harley Davidson, if it comes, it will reduce our Hero Honda's production? I don't think so. Hero Honda anyway exports outside. All our motorcycles exports outside. So I mean, it's hardly any. If some people will buy it, I mean, that's okay. So my point is that those are all optics, most of the things, and whatever actual thing will happen if really they put taxes in that thing, that's going to be affecting them more than others also. So they will realize. So ultimately things will settle down. So that's what I'm saying. The things will settle down in maybe a quarter or two, And as you say that agreement is expected to, somebody said October, somebody said end of this year. So it will happen this year or something, which will be good for both the countries. There will be a ground rule which will be used, and I think it will increase the trend among the largest economic power of the world, which is good for India. We'll be able to maybe do a lot of other business where the China or others are there. So basically, it's actually good for India, but we have to negotiate properly. I understand Indians are good negotiators. Even Mr. Trump also believes that we are good negotiators as such. And Indians are doing business for thousands and thousands of years. So they know how to do business across the world. They have done it maybe a few thousand years ago, even pre the calendar days or something. So I think we should not bother much about it. We'll do well. I think overall it will be good for, I mean, of course, if the free world helps, especially for a developing country. We have seen, especially the country who are efficient enough. But bilateral also, we have to live with that, because that is what is going to be maybe the future of the business, international business. So maybe we have to keep on doing this FTAs with various groups of the countries and US and others. So that's how we should go about it, and we should try to get best out of it.
About Indo-US BTA, bilateral trade agreement, our interest lies in services exports.
Yeah.
And US wants market access in agriculture and manufacturing. Now, agriculture, both you and I know, is too sensitive to touch.
Right.
So I believe that government will allowing some exotic foods to come in, which already they come. If you get apples from New Zealand or wherever, snake fruit from Indonesia, you already get those things. So
Pistachio from US.
right. So
Um,
let those things come. The reach will have it anyway. The reach, if they want to have crocodile meat imported from some part of the world, they will have it. So better leave those things. But point is, it is not merely these premium products. So US clearly wants, ultimately we are moving towards a situation where after all these bilateral agreements are done, we have to move towards a situation which was prevailing, like 90% of the goods we will attract very minimal duty, and the rest is discretionary kind of. So now point is that so we cannot open up agriculture. So we have to open manufacturing to US, and to ensure that our services thing is untouched. Do you believe that US, if the market access is given, assuming that 90% of products, US manufactured products, will come to the market at zero rate or minimum rates, so should it have any impact on the Indian economy? I mean, US is the highest cost economy in the world.
So that's what I believe, that it's the highest cost, it's a far off. So even if you do at cost, bring here and all very minimal cost or whatever. So I don't think otherwise, if actually they still gain it, that means we are inefficient. We have to improve our efficiency, which will be good for us also. That if we bring a material from that far and India, and still it is better and people go and buy it because it's a better quality, then maybe my quality have to improve in our country. I think it will be good for us. Say for example, steel. We have the best iron ore in the world, best quality iron ore in the world. So I mean, why my steel should not be the best in the world? Even during during the time of Chandragupta Maurya's whole metals, the why they were Patliputra was so rich, because the metals, the
We
arms
had
were all
one of the
exported,
oldest, yeah, there are communities who
all
have been,
exported from India. So I
yeah,
mean,
metallurgy. Metallurgy has been a very old science here.
yes. So basically, what I'm saying, even if after that, they do the basic products, which is luxury products are okay. How many people buy? Then there is some problem. I'll tell you today. A lot of Indians go to China and import the whole furnitures from there. So I asked somebody that why you do that, it's very expensive. He said, no, it's much cheaper. So there are particular places in China, they take a flight, they go there because suppose they have a house. Even in Calcutta, guys go to it. They go there. They said, first of all, the prices are low. Then in one particular item, I get thousands of choices and I choose it, I pay, and it comes, they ship it in all that. Even after taxes and duties and everything is cheaper if they buy next door.
That
At least I
that
have
that
told you.
tells a lot about our efficiency or inefficiency.
Exactly. So if that is so instead of protecting us, I mean, of course, I should protect against China. I agree, but I'm saying that I have to look into inside now. Why he's doing that? Why he's able to do that? Can I have something of similar? See, similar thing was that we were importing toys. Now we're exporting. We have looked into ourselves and see why we are lacking. We have done it. So I think we should look in each and everywhere wherever we are importing. Our people are importing instead of protecting them. Our inefficiency, we should see that how we improve it to be competitive in the world. Otherwise, this is only a limited period you can protect. Beyond that,
Otherwise,
you have
otherwise, only a section of people gain at the cost of Indian
exactly.
consumers.
So basically, rather once I make this efficient, I will be able to export in other countries. Why can't I do that? So maybe we have to look into those areas, those businesses. Maybe they have a larger capacities, they have a better technology. So can I bring this technology here? And say American businessmen are quite sharp enough. If they realize with their technology, with our cost, they can make things better, faster, or cheaper, they'll do that. They'll always do that. See, the Tesla has come all the way to China to make car. Why? They could have imported from there. They realized that gives a cheaper one. Or even iPhone was in China, now in India. Why? Because that was their country. They should have produced there. Even and they were exporting from there. But then they realized better to make it, and I can make it cheaper. So it's like
Cost,
that.
cost.
We have to use our benefit. Absolutely.
Right. Just one question here. Basically, the big industries are not going to oppose this BTA. Okay,
Yeah.
giving market access to US. They know that US can barely sell low value products in India. It is only about some high premium brands which might find some market here, and that's a limited option. Whosoever was buying Harley Davidson has a very limited clientele, and that those people will buy, might have
Already
already.
it's anyway.
Yeah,
If you make it 150, 200, they'll percent duty, they'll buy it anyway. So it
right,
doesn't matter.
right, right. We have seen 5 crore worth of Maybach cars coming to India. So some rich man is gifting to his daughter on the birthday. So,
Yeah.
so that will happen. That will keep happening. Uh, the real resistance, if at all, may come from the MSMEs or the political lobby of MSMEs. Now, here too, some analysts believe that the efficient MSMEs in South and Maharashtra, they will be cool with it. They have nothing to
See, why
do.
even South Maharashtra, though, I mean, in Howrah, there are certain forging units. They are as efficient as anywhere in the world. I mean, you can't imagine there.
Right,
So, I
right.
mean,
No,
again,
but I
my
have a
point
question
is,
here. I have a question here. Some expect that Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Punjab. So there will be resistance from these three states, particularly. West Bengal may come in, but that's a different issue. Do you think so? I'm talking about the
no,
MSN.
actually, no, MSMEs, there will be objections because there are a lot of, see, two things in MSMEs, I'd say. They face a huge problem on the funds, which I think we have discussed earlier also in this forum. That availability of working capital of the funds is an issue which the government have to solve from the efficient and good MSMEs. Even if they're good and efficient, it's a problem of the funds. Let's accept that. So that part has to have to be handled. I mean, that support government has to give. How they give, I mean, which are the mechanism? There's a set B others, but I think a lot of things need to be done there. They're trying to do in the budget also, but there is a lot of things to be done. So major issue is this collateral for loans for the small units, which is pretty difficult, and they need support for that. Now, having said that, that part of it. Second part is that out of that, if somebody is inefficient, maybe they have to revive or they have to improve. Government can support them in improving technology, in supporting even it at a cost. Make entail additional cost. That also is fine. I think that should be done. But at the same time, my point comes there, whether small or big, there's a limit by which you can achieve by protection. Beyond a point, protection doesn't work in this world. Somebody, see, if you are protecting somebody down below, then the guy who is suffering is the people who is taking material from him, because he has to pay more than if it's an open market, and he gives a value addition and sells something. So naturally, he will be more efficient if I am able to improve my supply chain such a way. So I think we need to see that part of it. I have a huge sympathy for the MSMEs, let me tell you, but certain inefficiencies in the financing part of it, and the support, especially technological support, uh, that needs to be given to them. And also they need to come together instead of fighting with each other. There have to be more marketing and
Cluster-oriented
support,
approach, you were saying.
oriented approach, so that they are able to fight such kind of larger entities, which is also, and that approach is not to again increase their price and all, which actually happens. No, they all try to fight for a different kind of reason. No, you give a subsidy, that's okay, let them do it. But I'm saying this is more for efficiency. Say technology, if there's a cluster oriented, it's easier to get technology. Say marketing platform, those things support should be given.
And the
Say that
government has
working
done
class.
already. Government has done a lot of things on that platform, technology platform.
I know they have done it, but I think I need to do more. I think they need maybe further support. They will require further support if there is somebody outside is coming with so many muscle power. So that part should be taken care of by the government. For MSME specific.
But I think the bottom line is clear. I mean, look at the wage cost in countries like Germany, France, America, and look at the shipment cost. I mean,
Yes.
even if considering your financial cost of finance, I mean, there is no way that they can compete with you. I mean,
So
that
if they
imported
compete, that
manufacturing,
means we are inefficient. That means we are inefficient. Like
very
our
inefficient.
productivity,
That means you are
our
very
our
inefficient.
labor productivity is low. Let us accept that. Now, how do I improve it? We need to see that part of it. Earlier our power issue was there. Now it's not so, but our labor productivity is still lower than international standard. So how do I improve it? Where we are lacking?
And
Those
nobody,
kind.
nobody really talks about it. The labor productivity, labor clauses are extremely
If you
restrictive.
compare industry wise, those US and all kind of productivity per labor and all is lower. Just do any analysis as such. So maybe the cost is also lower, but the productivity cost both need to improve. I
That
mean,
adds up to costs.
you pay more, but productivity has to, because that will reduce the production time. That has a gains your profit. If you reduce the production time, you gain a lot of things. You gain electricity cost, everything. A lot of cost comes down. Wastage should be reduced. Those kind of things, support needs to be there, especially for MSMEs.
So,
I know there are large industries, who has told, I mean, I'm not going to name him here, that, when the market is down, particular industry, the promoter, every month he gives a target that you have to reduce the cost in the industry, in their factory. Every month they have to reduce some way or the other. Everybody has to find a way, how can I cut the cost? So that is how, sometimes missing in the MSMEs, because it's not that they don't want, maybe they don't know exactly how to do it. So they need a lot of support there.
also, they enjoyed, some of them, or not everyone. I'm not talking about the auto component ancillaries in South or West, but we have seen a lot of MSMEs growing up in the around on the PSU segment, and there are many exemptions kind of. Okay, so those are basically inefficiencies, and so that has to go. So back to the topic before we wrap it up, is that US, let us look at it very, clearly, is that US had actually given, I mean, let's put it this way, that US had been harsher with its own closest allies, Canada and Mexico. Their 60-70% of the trade is with US, and US had been
Yes.
harsh, most harsh on them. Europe is again a close ally. So at this moment, US is done with Japan and India, two of its major partners in this part of the world. And next, they are going to do with Europe, and they are already using very harsh. If I look at the words, such words, Europe is not habituated to listen. So
from US.
yeah.
Yes.
So how do you expect? I mean, I believe that is Europe is going to get a shock. Do you think so? And should it have any trailing impact on us?
No, actually, I think, see, because we have no fight with anybody, no. So whenever somebody gets a shock, we should try to be helpful to them and work with them in a separate joint venture. So we'll do I mean, I think we should do bilateral with maybe you also, US also, everybody together. They will require us. See, for reducing cost, they will require India or that kind of support, like whether it's a surveys or other things. So let's work on that, no? So if they are finding in problem with US in certain areas, we can work together. I mean, that's going to happen. There will be several bilateral agreements is going to happen. It's not only US. In UK, we are trying, as we know, we are trying with EU also. So those things will have to keep on happening. And I think if those people fight, I mean, I don't think much of problems. Maybe the world volatility will increase, but for India, I think we should look for the opportunities there.
Thank you, Shubhendu. It's very interesting times. The market might be volatile, but it's very interesting times.
Yeah,
We saw, interestingly, we are the generation which saw the fall of Berlin Wall and unipolar world, globalization. We are also witnessing the demolition, destruction of globalization and creation of a
yes.
new system. Well, creation of the UN framework we haven't seen, and we are witnessing its reconstruction. So we are a very
Yes.
fortunate generation, I must say. Thank you.
I mean, yes, we are seeing a lot of things. Thank you so much.